Hey everybody, it's Dr. D again. Time to talk about something else with regards to our friend, the Revolver, in this case the Smith and Wesson Model 642. We're going to try the steel-cased ammo game with our friend. It's a joke with regards to what ammo costs, but this stuff's cheap, this Russian steel-cased crud. And there's all kinds of stuff online regarding why you shouldn't use it in a revolver. There's stuff online with regards to why you shouldn't use it in a semi-automatic. But the question is, can it be done? Is it safe? And we're going to kind of investigate that a little bit today with this box of Tulammo. So let's get to it. Okay, first thing first, we're going to do a real good cleaning on our little friend here, although no 38 special rounds have ever stuck in the chamber. This is one of the complaints of things that can happen with steel rounds. This gun has had aluminum rounds in it before. It's had all kinds of brass in it. Nothing has ever stuck in the chambers. But nevertheless, the plan is to, one, confirm that it's empty, which it is. Two, clean it really well. I'm going to use this nylon brush to clean each of the chambers, which I do after I fire it. But we're also going to shove a little bit of alcohol swabs. These here are just simple isopropyl alcohol swabs. I'm going to clean out each of the chambers with this little goodie too, just to prove that there's no kind of residue sitting on there that would otherwise bias the result. You just shove that in there and we find that there's nothing much on it. So after doing that, we got a little bit of powder and crud, but nothing that actually stuck. And all we're really getting is dust. But I just want these things to be as clean as possible, such that when I try the stainless steel in it, if anything sticks, we'll know it is the swelling that we've been told can occur when when steel cased rounds are used. The argument of why, or one of the reasons why, the rounds can actually get stuck inside the chambers is an argument of, oh, it swells when and it doesn't snap back like brass. So the idea of cleaning this thing really well is to make residue within the chamber less of an issue if things do get stuck. Alright. Okay, at my first pass at the range, I loaded all 5 chambers with the Tulammo, and I used it. Next you're going to see a picture of me at the range with my spent cartridges and my attempt to eject said spent cartridges.
Okay, just like with the target, see how you're a little bit spinning up? Not much, so I just need.
Okay, well after a little difficulty I was able to get the rounds out. It wasn't much difficulty except for one chamber. The chamber that I ultimately marked with a little piece of tape, this one right here. That one took a lot of work to get the cartridge out of there. And so what I decided was to go with the hypothesis that some irregularity in that chamber alone was my problem. And so what I did at that point onward is I only put a couple of the Tulammos in the other chambers of this revolver, and I interrupted them, as you'll see, with a brass round such that no 2 steel cartridges sat next to each other. So the next video you're going to see is again of me at the range showing you that I have 2 steel cartridges, again avoiding this marked chamber, and 2 intervening brass cartridges, and I'm going to fire that and then later show you how easy it is actually to eject them. Spent casings. Easily ejected when you ignore the port that is marked. Okay, here we are back at home. I actually got those other 4 out, the rounds that weren't all steel, and they came out with not too much difficulty, again avoiding this marked chamber. Now, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to show you that without cleaning, with fresh cartridges, there's no adhesion or residue in the chambers keeping these things from coming out easily. Now, these are 5 fresh rounds, but my point is, if you look at the 2 different things that are mainly talked about regarding why these things stay in the chambers after firing, making ejection a problem, I think the most logical conclusion is some of these chambers are more irregular than others, and there are some chambers that are more irregular than others. In the case of my revolver, it's this one I've marked with a piece of tape. So it's possible to shoot steel in your revolver. It's just going to be a pain in the neck to eject, at least in this 642. And what I've decided to do if I shoot any more of these, which is at this point doubtful, is to not fill the remaining areas completely with steel, but rather shoot 1 or 2 in the non-problematic chamber such that I don't have a problem getting these things out of here. Now, that's my solution to the problem. I think if you're going to shoot anything except occasional steel, you should test it in your gun. And this is with Tulammo. I'm not sure about the other Russian steel cartridge makers. It might be that they have more in the way of lacquer residue or some sticky component, but I think it's stretch in the cartridge and the lack of contraction you see with brass that results in these things getting stuck in a revolver. So despite the fact that they're cheap, they're such a pain in the neck, I don't think I'm going to be using many of them. But at least I gave it a shot. Till next time, ciao bella.